welcome back to another episode of Untangling Kingdom Hearts. Today we are on Kingdom Hearts Key, and we are about to go on a bit of a journey. We actually are going, it's going to take us a bit before we actually get to the first cutscene that we have today, but when we do get to those cutscenes, they will be Chirithy's story, the Foretellers, and Another World, all in Daybreak Town, Chirithy. So why don't we just go ahead and get started? As the message at the end of the last episode stated, we are supposed to go on another journey. Of course, we've been going on a journey this whole time, so anyway. So Key Player opens up his portal and heads to Another World, but it's a world we have been to before, and we end up in Wonderland. And a certain Cheshire Cat says, hey, if you're looking for the White Rabbit, he's over there. He's feeling a bit twitchy today. So yeah, the poor White Rabbit has broken his watch. Somehow all the numbers have fallen out of his watch. I don't know how that works, but who knows? Alice decides she's going to help him because that's who Alice is, and she's still trying to get in good with the White Rabbit for some reason. Still don't know why, but she's still trying to be helpful, so, we keep going with that. And, of course, once Alice, helps him get all his numbers back and he gets the watch fixed, he realizes something very important that we probably all could have guessed. He's late! He's late for a very important date! So he runs off and Alice follows him. And we are told to search the area for Heartless. Upon reaching Rabbit's house, we find that there is a giant monster Heartless in the way that Key Player must defeat in order for the story to continue. After defeating the monster Heartless, the White Rabbit runs into the house, saying he's late, and Alice runs after him, but does not go inside the house with him. At this point, Alice decides she's just going to wait around for the rabbit to come out, because he's got to come out eventually anyway, and then we hear a voice from the forest calling out to us, saying, hey, I'm in trouble, come help me, and we run after that voice, and it appears to be Chirithy. Chirithy asks us to come back with him to Daybreak Town, and he's going to tell us some stuff. So we open a portal and head back to Daybreak Town. And as we leave Wonderland, the next cutscene starts, which is called Chirithy's story. And this is a very simple story. It's actually told in the style of like the prologue, where we hear the Dive to the Heart music, and we get this story of how the world was darkness, but Chirithy was born into a light, and from that light, its master gazed upon him and smiled. And that's the end of the cutscene. Then we get a message saying to find Chirithy in Daybreak Town. There's something important he wants to tell you. After fighting a bunch more Heartless, we enter the next cutscene, which is called the Foretellers. And Chirithy tells us a little bit of backstory, finally. After getting a little bit of praise from Chirithy, he begins to tell us a story about how before he disappeared, his master had 6 apprentices to which he bestowed names on and passed down to 5 of them a book of prophecies. These 5 became known as the Foretellers. After reading the whole book, they were shocked apparently by the final entry, which talked about how Daybreak Town is going to become a battlefield, light will be extinguished, and darkness will reign forever. Those 5 decided to draw on powers from the book to prevent it from happening, and that is the medals that we have been using, or Key Player has been using throughout the adventure in order to actually fight these Heartless. They harness unimaginable forces from the future to protect the light, and to keep the world safe from the darkness that apparently is going to come no matter what happens. Yeah, I don't know how about some future events that's going to happen that this is obviously telling us about, that we kind of also would have already known playing this chronologically or in production order, because this would definitely have come after Birth by Sleep, in which a lot of stuff happens in an area known as the Keyblade Graveyard. But more on that when we get there. Apparently, the Foretellers, while they have the same goal we do, they have different jobs than we do, as they're on a different path. So we shouldn't worry about them too much. And we definitely need to focus on our path and not worry about everyone else's. That cutscene ends, and we're told to fight Heartless and gather Lux. And then another one of these little side scenes that's not in the app right now starts to play. Chirithy then asks us to do him a favor. He asks if we knew what the Dark Ball Heartless is, which are these literally large sphere Heartless that have kind of little tentacles. A little Cthulhu-esque, if you ask me. But he asks us to go through the worlds we've been to and defeat the Dark Ball Heartless that are there. So we first visit Dwarf Woodlands and do just that. After defeating that Heartless, Chirithy asks, first he says, thanks for help for doing this. I'm still wondering where they came from. Oh, by the way, appears Wonderland's been infested too. Go there and defeat the Dark Ball Heartless there. So we do. Chirithy then says, good job, but is it my imagination or are these Heartless from another world? I was under the impression most of the Heartless were from another world, but hey, what do I know? But apparently talk is cheap. We need to run to Agrabah because one's been seen there too. So we go to Agrabah and yes, you guessed it, we defeated the Dark Ball Heartless. But still, no sign of a boo. Chirithy then says, well, thanks a million, but I have no idea who could have seen this coming. Well, maybe... well, that's not important. Hey, let's go back to Daybreak Town. Pretty much is what he says. So we open a portal, head back to Daybreak Town, and Chirithy's going to go do some research. So we have to wait around and, defeat Heartless so they don't cause trouble. After fighting a dragon-like Heartless, Chirithy finally comes back. And this is where the last cutscene comes in, called Another World. And it starts with Chirithy saying, hey, thanks for taking care of all that. Hey, you remember those Dark Ball Heartless you were just fighting? And I'm thinking, yeah, we do. Well, he says it's just like I thought. They came from another world. So we got to go ahead there and see if we can go defeat them at their source. Of course, that does mean we're going to get a new Keyblade, apparently. And we're going to get some new story. So yeah, we are actually going to finally... First time in 4 or 5 episodes, we are going to get to see another world instead of running around Dwarf Woodlands and Wonderland and Agrabah and Daybreak Town with very little story actually happening, it seems like, for some reason. But yeah, we open the portal and that's probably where we're going to end it tonight. So yeah, the story so far... This is one of the weirder sections because, yeah, I only did 3 cutscenes, but I swear most of the story was outside of those cutscenes. You look at that list, it's like, okay, we're gonna have another 3 here in this town in the Daybreak Town. So yeah, that's not a big deal. How bad could it be? And all of a sudden, oh yeah, by the way, you're also going to be running over to Dwarf Woodlands and then to Wonderland and then to Agrabah because we got to defeat all these Heartless. We went to Wonderland twice in this episode. So, I mean, it's nice that we're still getting more story, but some of the story, at least in the Disney stuff, is very, very filler at this point. It just almost feels like maybe that's why they cut it out, but I still don't understand why in the theater mode for this, they don't have the cutscenes with the character portraits. I don't understand that at all in the theater mode. If you're not watching a Let's Play of this, you are not getting most of the story. Granted, there ain't been a lot of story to get so far, but you're missing context between some of these more quote-unquote cinematic cutscenes. But yeah, next time we're going to be heading to a new world. I'm not going to spoil which world that is yet, but new is a word that if you know Kingdom Hearts, when you see what world it is, you're going to go, oh yeah, that one. But anyway, join us next time for that. In the meantime, this has been Drew, and we'll see you later. The Cellcast is a member of the Pop Americana and Culture Box Media Networks. For more information about shows in those networks, please check the links in the description. The Cellcast presents Untangling Kingdom Hearts as a production of the Cellcast podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at cast_cell, on Facebook at the Cellcast, on Twitch at the Cellcast Gaming, and you can email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com or visit us on our webpage at thecellcast.podbean.com. Our theme music is Trinity by Tyler Spirian and is a remix of the song Dearly Beloved by Yoko Shimomura from the franchise Kingdom Hearts. The Cellcast podcast has no affiliation with Square Enix, Disney, or for that matter anyone else connected to the Kingdom Hearts franchise. The Cellcast Presents Untangling Kingdom Hearts is a fan production, and no copyright infringement is intended or implied. Kingdom Hearts is owned by both Disney and Square Enix. This podcast also is not intended to be a replacement for playing the games. Please go and play them yourself.